Are you tired of a job that you want to leave, a job that doesn't feel fulfilling anymore, a job that doesn't feel quite right, a job that is just literally depressing you and taking so much energy from you? Let me tell you that I've been there and I know exactly the steps that you can take to start planning that escape and don't get crazy or depressed or anxious along the way. Come with me, grab a pen and paper, and I will show you exactly what you're gonna do to leave that 9 to 5 that is making you so sad and start living a life that is fulfilling and meaningful. Let's go. Hello everyone, how are you? This is Ali Whitecheck and I'm so excited to be back. As you know, I posted a couple of weeks ago my first video from ages ago. I hadn't been putting anything together just because I was going through what it felt like a rebirth, or for some people, a midlife crisis. And I'm glad to be on the other side. I'm slowly picking up on the videos that I promised myself I wanted to do for you to help you live a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. And today is all about the steps that I've taken in the past to leave careers and roles that are not fulfilling for me. But also, these are steps have been applied by hundreds of individuals that I've taught, and especially they are quite important for anyone who is quite keen to leave a job but don't want to risk it all. Over analytical, I'm always in my head, I overanalyze everything. And yes, I do like to be prepared for the worst, but at the same time, I know that I cannot stay in a situation where I don't feel happy and when I actually feel that my energy is totally being taken away from me. And so if that's you, if that's what you need, then these 12 steps are going to help you to get there. If you want to change your life or career, the first thing that you got to do, which is step number 1, is to figure out what is it that you want to change. Is it that you want to find a new career? Is it that you actually just really bored of the particular role, but you love the industry that you're in? Is it that you want to try a side hustle? Is it that you see yourself as a visionary, as an entrepreneur? You need to find what is it that you would like to do, and you need to create that vision. That is the first step that you got to do, because not because you're unfulfilling a role, it means that you are going to be an entrepreneur. It doesn't mean that you can be the best entrepreneur or you can start your own business. It might actually be that all you need is to maybe go back and study. Maybe you just need to change companies altogether. So what is it that you want to do? Where do you see yourself? And from there, work backwards and start understanding the things that are really able, that you can actually change and articulate in that manner. Number 2 is, I really think it's very important for you to start some savings. So if you do want to start, say, you want to leave your job and you might want to say, I don't know what I want to do, but I do want to maybe explore having a side hustle, or maybe just take some time off. Just have 3 to 6 months of a runway. That means you have about 3 to 6 months of savings in your bank account. A lot of people I know feel like they could quit their jobs right now. And if this is you, you probably feel like, I'm so ready. But I would say, if you know that the fact that you don't have money to pay bills or responsibilities will cause a lot of stress, then just wait to have that money. It is really important that you have that comfort in your head, because otherwise it's just going to cause so much stress that you're probably going to go mental and feel really, really stressed out. So it's really important that you do that. The third step is that you need to start minimizing your expenses right now. Like if you are doing takeaways and hanging out with friends on the weekends, maybe for breakfast on a Sunday morning, you need to cut all of that right now. And I know that's my personal opinion. That's how I would approach it, and you probably would hate me for it. But at the end of the day, if you cut a lot of those expenses, you're actually covering the bare minimum. You're maximizing your chances of getting out of that job faster. You're maximizing your chances of getting your runway to last longer. And you're finding a possibility for you to have space to breathe, to decompress, to don't feel burnout, to just regroup. And that is so important. So you need to start saving, but also, as I said, minimize your expenses. The fourth thing is, I want you to start thinking of launching a side hustle. Now, when I think about a side hustle, this could be many things. You might think of I could just drive an Uber on the weekends, or I could deliver food, or I could, maybe do some freelancing services and some photography, whatever it is. But essentially, it's like you can start doing anything that you can validate whether or not you have the skill set, the ability, or the passion or the energy to do it while you work in a 9 to 5. A lot of people think, I will quit my job and then start a business. I will leave my job and then figure out if I can do these things. Like, why don't you just validate it now? Like, you have the time. Everybody has the same amount of time. All you need to do is to prioritize it better. So in the evenings or in the mornings or on the weekends, just find that time that you need. In the descriptions, there's going to be an awesome guide that I put together, and it actually shows you my own schedule and how I prioritize my time to make sure that I could work on the many projects that I'm working on. I do a lot of freelancing. I teach entrepreneurship. I have my business. I do consulting. I do speaking gigs, like so much. And I still have time. I prioritize the time to do the things that I need to do and I want to do. So it is really important that you start working on that business idea right now and put as a hustle that you can validate. And I'm not going through validation in this video, but there is so much that can be done to understand a problem, and from understanding the problem, what is the solution that your customers need. And if you want to know more about this, just let me know, because I'm happy to put a video together. I teach that at university, so I could tell you all about it. The next thing is up your mental health game, to be ready for the moment you are gonna hand out your letter of resignation and leave. If you're miserable and not in a good mental, in a headspace, and you're maybe in a fixed mindset or in a glass half empty sort of mindset, that would very likely not change once you leave your job. And it is very important that you think of your mental health as a cup that is pretty empty or kind of close to empty because of the circumstances you're in, and because of the change and the transition that is going to happen from what you've known, which is your comfort zone, which is your job, to what you're yet to find out. That cup is going to even more empty. Essentially, you need to keep topping it up. You need to keep putting things into that cup that are going to be fulfilling. And that mental health game is so important, because if you don't have that, you won't be able to succeed. You won't be able to do the things that you actually envision to do. You need to see that what you want to do is possible. You need to have the trust, you need to have the faith, and you need to have the ability to work on the things even when you think that you are still getting out of your comfort zone, because you are, and you need to be aware of that. But you need to put things in that cup that are going to be fulfilling, like journaling, meditating, doing yoga, exercising, moving your body, breathing, having a cold shower, going for a walk, being in nature, talking to friends, calling a friend, doing random acts of kindness, reading a book, helping people, like whatever it is, that mental health game, you gotta write a list of those things that you can do and do them every day, and that will really help you so much. The next thing I want to talk about is something that I feel really passionate about, because I really truly believe you are not made to do every single thing. And for example, for me, I understand myself so well that I know the things that I love doing. Why? Because I've tapped into my epigenetics, my human design, my astrology, my DNA, and a lot of the strengths that I know I have that I can use on a regular basis. You can think about kind of creating a list of careers, businesses, or side hustles, whatever, and you can actually rank it and say, would this take energy from me or would this add energy? I, for example, love speaking, even though I'm an introvert, but I love speaking. And so I would say that will just add so much energy, even though it takes a lot of energy, but it adds so much more. So I love doing that. When it comes to entrepreneurship, I love creating things. I love putting things together. I love crafting them, designing them, but I hate the operational aspect of it. So if I say, well, I want to become a project manager, like, oh my God, kill me now. Like, I hate that. I wouldn't love it. But if you tell me, come and create a new concept and have fun developing that, it's like, yes, you had me at creating the concept. So it is really important that you understand yourself, and there's so many resources to tap into your epigenetics, your DNA, your human design, even something called Unani Biotypes. And you can download in the description an awesome self-actualization guide that I have that will give you most of those really awesome tools that you can use right now to understand yourself better, because the moment you know who you are is the moment that you're able to really tap into your power, your strength, and figure things out from there. The next thing I want to talk about is really finding like-minded people who are where you want to be. I really truly believe that if you can see it, you can be it. If you're surrounding yourself with your 9-to-5 friends and maybe your parents, your family, your kids, your husband, your whoever, and they're not doing what you envision to do it, you're going to struggle more than someone who is surrounded with people that are already doing that thing that you want to do. So you got to really get out of your way and start networking and finding those individuals. For me, for example, has been always very useful to tap into networking events. Now it's a bit easier because, yes, we had COVID, but people are still getting together. And even online, there's so many startup groups. If you do want to think of side hustles or a business, there's so many people out there trying to find like-minded people. But even if you don't want to do that, go on Facebook, go on Instagram, don't go on TikTok, go on YouTube, like find people, go like Clubhouse. There is so many people out there ready and willing to have a chat and meet for coffee. And I always say it's like dating. You won't get married to the first person you meet. Maybe that's you. But you will be meeting so many people, and then just kind of get a sense for whether they can be part of your journey, whether they could be, someone that you want to keep as long as you want to keep them, and support each other, build accountability and build a network. I think that's really, really important. The other thing that I want to talk about is start experimenting with auctions, have conversations with people and notice how these experiments feel. What this means is that when you're doing anything that you thought of doing, you're likely embedding an experimentation mindset. A lot of us think that when we commit to doing something, that's it, I committed. And if you stop doing it, you're a failure and you feel ashamed and you feel guilt. But I want you to embrace an experimentation mindset. I want you to think of like, I'm going to try this thing over the next couple of weeks, or the next couple of days, or the next month, and see how it feels. Because you'll be gathering data, but also you'll be able to talk to people about it. So for example, at the minute, I'm exploring going back to university. I know I have a bachelor's, I have a master's, but I've always dreamt of studying psychology and neuroscience because it's my thing. I dig it so much. I love it. And I've been talking to so many people about it and kind of feeling what it feels right. And I'm kind of gathering all this data and intuitively going, well, what is the thing I want to study first? So I want to study psychology or neuroscience. And this is our experimentation. Yes, I know, going to uni to study a postgrad, by the way, which is awesome because I don't need to do a bachelor's because I've already done that. I know that will be kind of like, cool, I've got to start doing it, and that's kind of it. But I could change my mind. Like, I could totally change my mind. If I don't want it, or I don't like it, or I don't enjoy the way I thought, why can I not change my mind? So have that experimentation mindset. There is no point you sticking to doing something that you are not enjoying. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Right? Like, just stop it and say, I'm going to pivot from here. I'm going to stop, or I loved it, I'm going to continue. And so keep doing it. The last 3 points, these are really, really important. And I can tell you guys that off the back of my rebirth / mid crisis, really got so much out of these next 3 things. The first one being making a decision. It sounds so simple, but we don't make decisions often enough and quick enough. I was doing a bit of a program and a challenge with the Proctor Institute, and they're obviously huge on self-help and personal development. And one of the things that they were talking about was like making decisions. I was like, yes, of course I make decisions, but I was like, how fast do you make decisions? And I was like, yeah, okay. There's a lot of ambivalence in our heads. And if this is happening to you, what is essentially happening is just taking so much energy from you. You say, I want to leave my job, but I'm not taking the steps. I want to leave my job, but I'm not having the conversations. I want to leave my job, but I'm not saving. I want to leave my job, but I'm not doing my side hustle. I want to leave my job, but I don't know what else to do. Like, it's okay. Just like have some grace, but make a decision. Make a bloody decision. You want to do the thing? Are you doing it? Tell me now. Yes or no? There you go. You just decided. Make the decision. If it takes you more than 10 seconds, that's too long. I love this because it's helped me so bloody much, and I know it's going to help you, especially if you're an analytical person like me. The other thing that I want to tell you, and this is step 11, is to have sense of thoughts on a regular basis. You can either accept them or reject them. For those of you who love neuroscience and how the brain works, you would appreciate how our primary brain is so prevalent. And if you keep on feeding your brain, like I always say, if you keep on feeding your primary brain McDonald's, which is like bad thoughts, negative thoughts, you cannot do these, imposters, you're not good enough, you're silly, you're stupid, that's been created before, that's what you're feeding. But if you actually make a decision to reject or accept a thought, let me ask you, what do you think that might happen? If you have a thought right now, like I'm talking to you and I'm like, oh Ali, you're doing this off the cuff without a script, that's stupid. Do I accept that or I reject that? Bloody reject it, because I'm doing it from my heart, I'm doing it from my intuition, I'm doing it because I've been where you at, and so I'm happy to give you this content this way. So you can accept and reject any thought that is coming your way. So if you want to put it right now on a piece of paper in front of your desk, write it on your phone, put it on your home screen, whatever you got to do. But make sure every moment of the day, every moment that you have the thoughts, every moment that you realize thoughts are coming, you can accept or reject them. Sounds good? And the last one is have a sense of urgency. This is important because we always say, I'm going to start eating healthier on Monday. And that might be a thought that you had on the Friday. Why do you need to wait? Why do you need to wait? If we were to have a sense of urgency, I want to create something. I wonder if we were able to just actually get feeling so much better about ourselves and the procrastination habits I might have. I'm a total procrastinator. But when I've noticed that I'm actually gaining momentum and I'm taking conscious decision to make things urgent, I don't overstress because this has to be done so fast. Urgency doesn't mean that you have to rush and do them. Urgency means I'm going to do them right away, calmly and effectively. And I want you to think about it that way. I want you to have a sense of urgency about the things that you are procrastinating on, the things that you haven't decided upon, and the things that you know will change your life. Because I truly believe that if it's in your head, it means you can make them happen, you can make them a reality. If you're thinking about them, it will be possible. It's like me, I'm putting together a book right now. I'm putting together a book about how to leave a job. And I had a thought of writing a book years back, but I didn't know what this book was about. And I know this idea has come to me, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to bloody do it. And yes, there's been so much procrastination, but I've noticed that when I have this sense of urgency and I write it down, I give my brain focus, I say, I'm going to do this, and I have a sense of urgency. I'm not waiting to do it later. I'm doing it now. Oh, that feels really good. So those are my 4 steps to get you to feel like you're ready, you're preparing yourself for change, you're getting out of your comfort zone while knowing you're going to be succeeding in the change you're creating in your life by leaving a job that is not making you happy, by leaving a job that is just not making you feel fulfilled. And let's be honest, you have a lot of beliefs in your head around what your parents told you, what generations told you, what society tells you about doing. But at the end of the day, it's your life and you need to make a call. So that is all I wanted to share with you. Let me know in the comments, what step would you be taking today, right now? And what decision are you making right in this very moment? Because, my friend, I'm going to hold you accountable for that. Please remember that the path ahead is the way it needs to be for a reason. Don't be discouraged, because you're the light needed right here and right now. I love you lots. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.